So what's going on, you guys? So I went ahead and picked this little guy up. I just realized a second ago, so the guy bought this off of told me this was a 125, which could be the problem. Anyways, but it's actually a 110. I think it states 107 maybe? I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, so whenever I went to go pick it up, he told me that it needed a carb clean, so I just went ahead and ripped this guy off after I got home. You can see how freaking disgusting it was. But I also own a little Chinese Grom clone, and I had 2 carbs, so, I lucked out. Anyways, so I do have another carb for this I'm going to throw on there. No, but I've always wanted a pit bike, and the biggest problem with me is if it's $1, if it's $100, or if it's $1,000, I'm going to bite. Anyways, after doing the math on my way home, whenever I was sitting there thinking about this, I was like, these are like $400 brand new. I'm like, maybe I would have been better off just to buy a brand new one. But that's not my style. I'm sitting here looking over everything it needs. You can see that chain guide has wore through and started to eat the swing arm a little bit. But I do believe the swing arm's decent. Anyways, but I was sitting there looking at these forks and I was like, boy, those need some love. I love my new little Bush Light plate holder. That's a pretty good washer, I'd say. No, but whenever I start looking at everything, there's a break off, so I don't know. What if he broke it? It comes with an exhaust, I guess. I doubt that that's stock. I didn't even see if it ran. I didn't try anything. He told me, he tried to get this this rear master cylinder to line up, and I guess it's just a knockoff eBay. I mean, if it worked, but I don't think that's working. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyways, I'll start dissecting it and see what I find. Not but 10 seconds in, and I realize but I don't know what that means. It could be the clutch. It kind of looks like it's all the way down. I don't know. You can see a little bit of that exhaust wasn't sealing right here very well. You can see it's black next to it. I think that's the intake. I don't know if you can see in there. No. Who knows? Well, I'm going to probably take this off and take that side cover off. See what I can dive into. So I'm not the biggest fan of Snap-on, but I'll tell you what, this set has been an absolute game changer. I'll take an 8. I'm assuming it's probably an 8. So I was looking at this a second ago. I doubt you can see it. But this little cotter pin down here, you might be able to, is just absolutely freaking rotten, which is never a good sign. It is Chinese, so it's kind of expected it. But the best part is, like, even if this thing is junk, it's only $100. And a whole new engine is only $100, so, like, it could always be worse, right? So I just went ahead and took the good old Kickstarter and this brake pedal off, which has kind of been a pain in the butt. Anyways, I was hoping this was just going to come off just a touch easier than that. There we are. So we got that off. I was wondering if the clutch cable is binding before I take this whole thing apart, and it was just the clutch cable. That is a negative. Alright. Well, realize I might have to drop this whole entire bottom This little, I don't even know what this would even be considered, like a little guard, under engine guard type deal. So I went ahead and took this side cover off, which isn't very inspiring because I can just spin the clutch. But I don't understand as to how I'm able to do that. So I guess I'll just see if I can take this off. I do believe I'm going to need like a 24mm socket, like a spanner. I don't know, we'll see what we can do. Whenever I do spin it, there's a collar back here that isn't necessarily spinning. But I don't understand what I would have broken. How does that spin? Put it in gear. Okay, so we're in gear. Okay, so that's there. Maybe I'm missing. Oh no. That's about the worst thing you can do right there. Whenever I see, professional mechanics or people who have YouTube, I just don't understand how they get to an entire project without like 100 of these mishaps happening. That's lovely. Okay. What? Huh. Well, so it would make sense why it would turn. So this guy sold me this, and he told me the carb was bad. But actually, it does appear that maybe he worked on this, and the clutch, that spanner nut came off that holds this on there? Okay, so I finally figured something out. So if you look at this gear runs on this bearing that's already on here. So this gear fits inside the inner clutches. Like the actual frictions, not the steels. You can see the steels are connected to the actual basket. It's like an inverted basket. Anyway, so every single time I try to put this on here, and I lined it up, I'm like, man, how? I don't know if you can see real well. I can spin that. This internal shaft, which is the actual crankshaft of the engine, is not turning. And I'm like, man, that's so weird. And I couldn't understand. So I tried taking this off and seeing if it would fit. I'm like, it just does it. It just spins. But then I realized, I was like, man, I wonder if this is too long, if this bearing in here is seated, because it's landing right here. But if you look in here, there you go, kind of. You can see the teeth are at the very end. Right there. The teeth are at the very end, and I was like, man, why are they so tiny? Why is the engagement for the teeth so freaking small? Anyways, but in one of these videos, I'll try to get it on there, I showed all the metal shavings that came off the front of this, and I realized after looking at them on Amazon, it sheared the teeth off inside there of every single one. So this guy was probably just fine. I mean, the clutch still works, but so basically this is a $20 clutch I ordered on Amazon, $23. It's going to be here in 2 days. Monday, I do believe it's Saturday right now. Anyways, and hopefully the new clutch fixes this. And then I have a pit bike for $120. Well, I guess $140 because I have a $20 carb I'm going to throw on this. What a win. What's going on? It is Monday. The parts came in. I was just showing you my little mobile workbench. I originally wanted to buy a bike lift because I do work on bikes a lot. And honestly, they're just stationary. And this doubles as a moving workbench. I can always take the bike off so it says a kickstand. And this way I can not be bent over like the last video. So this is the new clutch. I've had it soaking in oil, which I realized after the fact that none of these teeth line up. And it's farther out on this side than it is on this side. Like this side, you can barely see the teeth. So somehow, I'm going to have to press this clutch in. Maybe that'll work. Oh yeah, that's not working. Maybe. So I'm using a screwdriver just to push those clutches around in there. See if I can get them to halfway line up, which it does act like I just bottomed it out. Like, we're definitely going to find out. Well, there we are. There's it's on the engine. Okay. Alright, now we can slap this back together. As this clutch plates are lined up. You put this collar, you gotta make sure the collar lines up in there. You're gonna do the cone shapes in. Let's see what's up. So I didn't buy the tool. I know it's like $6, but I'm like, never needed one before. And I can just who knows how many foot-pounds it needs to be. That's realistically probably good. I can just line these little tabs up just a little bit farther. Maybe for this guy right here. I think I should be able to fit down in there. So I guess this gasket material has to be 1/16 of an inch thick, which who knows, I just slapped it on there. So the easiest way to tell if a bolt is too long, if it's the right bolt, yeah, both those are the same one, is they stick out roughly the same amount. In this case, it's like roughly 3, I don't know, maybe half an inch. Feel like that's gonna need this longer one. Yep. And then this one goes right here. All right. So the instructions say to tighten it down until it starts to squish. So I'm just gonna tighten it down some. Until it starts to squish, and then no more. This was back here, like this. This goes right here. I just tighten it down. And truth be told, there's a chance that this is 2-stroke mix. I don't think it is. So previously, I couldn't even kick it over. Hey. Alright, so I think I may have figured out the issue. Alright, so originally whenever I did this, I was wondering if maybe I jumped timing, because whenever I was revving it, I could feel air coming out of the intake. And I was like, well, maybe it is the intake side, right? But even when it's top dead center, I mean, I don't know if you can even see it. There's the slightest bit of movement, probably close to 3,000ths. Anyways, and then like I started reading forum after forum, and it said check your exhaust. They said that they're the nut backed off. Let's see if I can do this. You can probably hear it. There we go. That's the problem.